up, my ninjas? I'm Strident, and I'm back with another action figure review. This time it is the Arkham Origins DC Collectibles Batman. You knew it was only a matter of time. Come on, I am a Batman fan. I was actually holding off on this because I thought the Mattel one was going to be awesome, and I knew it was coming first, but as you can see, the Mattel one came first, and it wasn't really as good as what I was expecting in some ways, you know. I do think that the paint on that one is a little better than this paint, but overall, the sculpting on this, the articulation, the overall look, you know, the proportions and everything, it's just a well-engineered, well-sculpted, and well-painted figure, so it's not that bad of a, you know, of a compromise. And it's the first time DC Collectibles really stepped it up with their articulation, and that's something that's unheard of from DC Collectibles, and I'm going to get to that. You saw the pictures of him doing cool stuff. I'm going to get to the articulation really quick. Ball jointed neck, or head and neck. It's freaking awesome. He can tilt to the side in case Batman's feeling a little crazy. You can look up in case you want to get that cool old school 89 Batman just putting on his helmet. You can look down. It's amazing, right? Ab crunch. A DC Direct figure, or DC Collectibles figure with an ab crunch. That's amazing. He's got ball socket, you know, shoulder joints, and a bend at the elbow, as well as a twist at the elbow, and then another twist or swivel at his wrist, and there's a tilt. That's what I call that. I don't know what the proper term is, but you know, you want him to talk on his little wrist comm or something, you can do that. Waist swivel, legs can move out, and you can kind of get a split going. I wish that they had cut down up in here a little bit more so that you could get this down properly, but that's about as far as you can get his legs out, so it is possible to have Batman kicking fools, you know. So you can do some of those Arkham City style kicks that you see Batman do from time to time, which isn't bad. You know, at first I thought, oh, it's gonna be lame, but you know, you see, kick. Also, he's got cool foot articulation. It's on a point, and there's a swivel in there, so it twists. See that? So that when you have him in those wide-legged stances, he's like getting ready to uppercut a fool or something, it doesn't look unnatural. See what I'm saying? It actually looks pretty good. So, I'll say I'm impressed with this figure. I was not really hoping for, I didn't have hopes for it. I didn't really have expectations for it at all. I didn't really think I was going to get into, you know, an Arkham Origins figure because I'm not that big on this design. The design, unlike a lot of other reviewers, they haven't pointed out that it's very much a Nolan-esque design, but kind of on the comic style body. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Just having them standing next to each other just puts everything in perspective. There are some additions because they simplified things to make it look a little bit more like a prototype suit, you know. But I mean, for instance, let's look at the obvious. Look at all the armor, you know. The armor is what gives it away more than anything. The armor is so apparent on this suit, and I like it, don't get me wrong. I think if they make Batman in any of the new movies, he should look like this, because despite what they're telling you that it's for a prequel, and this is what made me not really so keen on it, and this is why I haven't even bought the game, it's just, I'm not feeling this as a prequel suit. There are little giveaways, things like buckles and you know, seeing the flight suit underneath and these big old riot shin pads, but, or knee and shin guards, but, you know, it's still not, he could be wearing that right now and it wouldn't look out of place, I guess is what I'm saying. Anyway, you look at the chest, similar chest piece with the armor. You look around his neck area, you got similar armor going on over there. Shoulder pauldrons, you got big old shoulders on him. The shape of the belt, similar. The fact that he's got those leg divisions right there on his armor, those thigh cuts and all that, you got them right there. Knee pads and boots, of course you're gonna have that. The gauntlets, that's one of the giveaways too. These gauntlets, even though they're in the Arkham City style, they're very Dark Knight-ish, you know? There's a lot going on with them, and I'm kind of like, eh. And the fact also that the utility belt, if you look closely at the utility belt, there's all these squares on it. See that? The squares actually make it look like the movie. That's the thing that kind of bugs me with these guys, is too much articulation kind of screws up your setups, because trying to get him to stand sometimes can be a chore because of his feet having the ball socket, point, and swivel. But you kind of see where I'm going with this. Even his neck, that's the one dead giveaway, that they were just super inspired by the Nolan films. Look at that neck, and then look at that neck. Granted, this neck is longer and I have the cape off because I'm experimenting, but you know, you can kind of see where I'm going with this. So that's my little spiel on that. Now, one comparison that people keep failing to make, and I made it because I was trying to see, you know, is it something I can use with other setups, or does he have to sit by himself? You know, because he's a DC collectibles figure. And the answer to that question is that I can use him with whatever. So I have a whole section of just Batman stuff, so I have all the suits standing around. Soon I will be doing a custom cape on him. So here's my Arkham City Batman with his custom cape. It's huge, and they're roughly about the same size. Not a big issue. Here is the Public Enemies Batman with a custom cape as well, and he's the tallest Batman figure Mattel has released. These two would be the tallest figures, Batman figures they've released, because they're on the bigger bucks. And as you can see, they're all standing almost shoulder to shoulder, but the DC Collectibles one is a little bigger. I guess because he's younger, they wanted him to look like he's bigger, but he's also wearing a lot of shit. I mean, he's got some thick soles on those shoes, so they're adding some height to him. And he's also got a combination of horns. And I have to say, I do like this face better. It feels more like typical Batman. Now, if we compare him to the other bats that we've gotten over the years, that's when you see a difference. Here is my zipline bats, complete with his custom cape, because you know how I do. That's a tiny guy. Tiny. You know? He's almost a midget in comparison. And then the same goes for the Batman Legacy Modern Bats with a custom cape as well. Tiny in comparison. See him? I mean, it's not horrible, because, you know, Batman tends to be tall, but it's just not perfect as far as, you know, fitting in with the others. Now, move them out the way. Villains. How does he stand next to the villains? You know, how does he stand next to Arkham City Catwoman? Stuff like that. Well, I'll show you. Here he is next to Arkham City Catwoman, who I'm seeing looks like Claire Forlani. with a really long face. Here he is next to Arkham City Hush. This is a figure I picked up about the same time. And I really dig this figure. But as you can see, he doesn't look bad next to them. He looks perfectly fine. So he fits in with your DCUC stuff, and he can fit in. I mean, if your Batman is a little taller, I mean, look, it looks like he's wearing more gear than anything you've ever had him wearing. So, you know, it kind of doesn't matter. Here he is next to Catman. He just looks like a bigger dude, you know what I'm saying? But not so much bigger that it just can't work, you know? So, I'm not complaining. He fits. I'm happy. It looks good. I'll be reviewing him soon. Yeah, I think he's made of wind. If you are you're a big fan of Batman, and you just have to have every Batman, or you're just a fan of this suit, then you should probably pick this guy up, because he's pretty badass. I give him props. I like the suit more now that I have it in hand, and I think they did an awesome job kind of capturing some of the essence of the Nolan-verse stuff. Sorry you had to see that. That Batman figure I have, with those double jointed knees and with the ab crunch and all these swivels and whatnot, it works really well. I'll turn you this way so you can get some of that light on you. There we go. I think he's an awesome figure. It's worth it. I'm glad I picked him up. He fits perfectly into my universe, and I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna do the custom cape treatment, and you'll probably see him again. And you know, as far as custom capes go, you guys need to send those to me. So anyway, I'm STRYDENT. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. This has been the Arkham Origins Batman from DC Collectibles, and I think he's worth it. If you're a Batman fan, pick him up. If you're just a fan of good action figures, it's a well-made action figure. The things to look out for on this figure are mainly these spines on the edges of his arms. They did a horrible job keeping those things straight. All of mine were going in different directions. And I'll get up close on it so you can see. They're all going in different directions. You see that? I never liked that on these guys. So you can kind of see it on this right here. I'll pull back so you can check it out a little better. But they're all going in different directions. You see that? All twisted up and stuff. That's not cool. And considering these guys are 20 piece, you shouldn't be dealing with that kind of stuff. But all in all, it's worth it. But that minor nitpick aside, it's worth it. So, like I said, I'm STRYDENT. It's my story and I'm sticking to it. I'm speaking really low because everybody's asleep and I don't want to wake them up. And this figure's worth it. Pick him up if you see him. They go for about 20 bucks now. I know online he's going for like 30 or 40 or whatnot, but be smart. Go to your local comic book store, pick them up there, so you don't have to spend so much. And that's my public service announcement for the day. Peace outside, folks.